Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Berkeley County Board of Education Budget Workshop, Monday, May 19th, 2025. I call this meeting to order. I declare a quorum is present and the media has been notified. For the record, Ms. Littleton is on the phone. I'll now entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Davenport, a second by Ms. Bradley to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 6-0. The action item for the budget workshop is the budget workshop, the 2025-2026 second budget workshop. Ms. Abrahamson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Board Chair Wofford, board members, Dr. Dixon. Tonight, I'm bringing to you the second budget workshop with the updated numbers from the Senate budget for the state. Unfortunately, it's not a major difference, but we'll go through it. Just a recap, I always like to give a history of our millage. And on this chart, I also added tag on each year that we had a reassessment year. So as you can see, in 2014-15 was a reassessment year and our millage was at 142.9. In 2015-16, the board at that time increased millage to 159.9 and then increased again in 16-17 to 163.8. It stayed at that level until the next reassessment, which was in 2019-2020, when it dropped to 151.8. We held it at the 151.8 until this last reassessment, and it dropped to 141.9, and it was our intention to hold it at 141.9. Just a quick recap of all the state mandates that we had to consider when we were building our budget. Proviso 1.3 is to increase each cell on the state's teacher salary by $1,500 and remove the bachelor's plus 18 column, which sets the new state minimum teacher salary at $48,500 for FY 25-26. Berkeley already exceeded that, but I'll give you our recommendation to our teacher schedule in the next slide. There was a 4.6% increase in the employer portion of the PIBA benefits. And the way that works is the employee elects what coverage they want, if they want employee only, employee spouse, employee child, or full family. And this is the amounts that we pay currently, the 2025 rates that the employer pays for health, dental, life insurance, and long-term disability. And the bottom chart shows what our increase will be with the 4.6% for the 2026 rates. There was some discussion about increase in premiums for on the employee side, but they nixed that plan and went back to doing the employer increase. The paid parental leave, again, the original mandate for paid parental leave was mandated by the state in 23-24. At that time, it was an unfunded mandate, and they said that we could absorb the expense. The new legislation that is passing is going to double that paid parental leave. So maternal paid parental leave is going to go from 6 to 12 weeks, and paternal paid parental leave is going to go from 2 to 4 weeks. There was a slight adjustment in the Proviso 1.3 for the virtual charter schools. It went from 0.65 to 0.35 and added some additional language. However, there were no changes in the weighting for the brick and mortar charter schools. Only the virtual charter schools received the adjustment. We will not see the increase in our revenue from that until the committee meets to reconcile the differences in the Senate and the House budget. So our final budget from the state may be tweaked a little bit, but for right now, I think we're pretty safe where we are at our current assumptions. The EIA surplus, they added $6 million for the statewide implementation of the Imagination Library and decreased the amount for the purchase of instructional materials by $6 million, leaving $18 million for that purpose. Again, the PIBA increase of 4.6%. They also added the language that if a school district could not employ enough school safety officers, that we could employ private security. We don't think we have that issue here. We do use walled-in security for our athletic games and things like that to work our metal detectors, but I just wanted to add and make sure everyone was aware of this language. The additional changes were the summer camp decreased by $1.6 million. Our Science Plus decreased by $500,000, and Call Me Mr. program decreased by $705,000, and then the Department of Public Safety SRO program was increased by $17.4 million. Again, the General Assembly meets again on the 28th to do the budget vote, and then also the Conference Committee meets to reconcile those differences between the House and the Senate budget. So what this means for Berkeley County School District's budget, we want to mirror what the state is doing and collapse our bachelor's into our bachelor's plus 18. And then we want to increase each cell on the teacher salary schedule by $2,500. This will put our first year teacher salary at $56,770, which is an increase of $4,320 over the current first year teacher salary of $52,450. I will say going forward, I hope the state will start looking at the step increase between each year of experience. When we were trying to formulate our 3-year plan, we wanted to try to focus on those more experienced teachers, but the way the state kind of keeps pushing that first year teacher salary, and that's basically what they're focusing in on, is making it difficult for us to kind of equalize those step increases for our more experienced teachers. So we're going to really look at a plan next year. I'm hoping after this year. I think next year we're probably going to collapse the master's plus 30, but we'll really look at trying to do something so that we can really do something more for our more experienced teachers, because I feel like the last 2 years they have not received what they a fair, if you do the percentage, what we increased teacher sales last year, the more money you make, the lower percentage you're getting in a pay increase. So I would like to address that in next year if the state kind of does a status quo with the teacher salary schedule. We want to do a first 2% COLA for all non-teaching positions. Then all salary schedules will remain at 31 years. Again, we had talked about increasing ours to 35 years by 2027, getting it to 33 next year. But with the minimal revenue that we have coming in, we're going to hold it at 31 years so we can maximize the pay increases. The only new positions that we're adding are the 33 classroom paraprofessionals for SPED, and then also those 5 itinerant secretaries so that we can support that group of students as much as we can. And then we'll also need to fund the new positions for the 2 new schools that are opening in 2026. That'll be a principal for the full year and a school's bookkeeper secretary for a part of the year. Additional considerations, again, our overall revenue is not going to increase quite as significantly as it has in the past couple years. It's only going to be a 2.14% increase based on our amended 24-25 budget. Again, we have no plans to increase our millage. The PIBA increase was 4.6%, which was about a $1.6 million cost to us. The expansion of paid parental leave added another $1 million to our budget, and then the increase in school. And the only allocation that we changed in our supply allocation formulas was that school safety and security, where we were funding it at $250 per sport. And I know it wasn't the best scenario, but we added the we did the funding based on the size of the school or the school's classification. So if it's 5A, they got 28,000. 4A schools received, 25,000. The 3A schools are at 23, 2A 18,000, and the 1A schools were at 12,500. And we needed to get a baseline to make sure we gave adequate funding this year for our safety and security. And then we're going to go back, and I'm going to work with a team over this next year to try to look at a better formula to make sure we're incorporating the number of athletes, the number of games, the crowd size, recommended number of officers, and that type thing, so that we make sure we're giving them adequate funding.
What was the 2A amount again?
The 2A amount is 18,000. So this is our overview of our revenue projections. You'll see the 24-25 amended budget in that first column of 475 million, 0.1. Our House budget was originally 485.5, and with the new money from the Senate, we got about another $200,000, so we got 485.7. The overall change in the amended budget is 10.3 million. I think in the previous presentation I had it right at 15 million, but I failed to carry over that 5.1 million that we're bringing in from fund balance for this year. So the overall change in our revenue is really only 10.3 million.
Can you go back? Is that your project, right there, that works. That's your projected expenses or still on revenues?
We do a zero balance budget, so our budget, our revenues and expenses will be the same.
When your revenues changed, you changed your expenses. Do you know where you changed them?
In the previous,
You said there was a couple of 100,000 that came in.
We added it to the supply budget. And this is just a good breakdown, because I think in the first workshop, we talked about how the state aid to classroom funding, when it was developed, it was supposed to be 75% funding from the state, 25% local funding. And as you can see here, our local funding is at 54%, and our state level funding is at 45%. We do get a little bit of federal funding and then some other revenue that we get from interest and things like that. But it just kind of gives you a good snapshot that most of the funding is coming from the local level. Our salaries and benefits these are our projected expenses, which match our projected revenues. Salary and benefits is 420.3 million. Our purchase services is supplies and equipment is 65.4 million. Again, all of our new money basically is going to fund salaries, and we are working to cut some expenses to make sure we can maximize those salaries. So this just gives you our total projected revenue, matches our total projected expenses. So at this point, we do have a balanced budget. And the next step will be our first budget reading on June 2nd, our public hearing and second reading on June 16th. And then we have reserved June 30th as an alternate date for the public hearing and the second reading if there are any delays and we can't do that on 16th. Are there any questions?
Doesn't the state seem to be, I'm going to say on time, don't jinx it, they're earlier than normal?
Yes, ma'am, they are. The Senate budget passed earlier, but I will say that last year we received the numbers from South Carolina Department of Ed for our portion of the Senate budget on May 7th. And this past week, we had not received them as of Wednesday, which was the date we were promised. And we got them early Friday morning. So once it gets approved at the state level, then it has to go through the whole South Carolina Department of Ed so they can break down for each school district what portion of money they're getting.
Do you know of any provisos that are connected with the budget this year? Did the proviso for cell phones carry forward on this budget? Are you aware?
I'm not aware of that particular proviso.
I'm pretty sure the cell phone proviso they tacked onto the budget last year.
I
Yeah.
think it's embedded already.
I think it's embedded, but it wasn't state law. We did make policy for it. I was just curious.
We did.
If it carried over. Do you mind going back a couple of slides? The one that had 10 million on the bottom of it that you said last time was 15. Does that narrow it down? Right there.
Right here. Yeah, in my last worksheet, I didn't bring this 5.1 million over here, so it would have been, it was 15.5 million, and it's really 10.4 million, because I had to deduct that amount that we borrowed from fund balance for this year, or that we planned to borrow from fund balance this year.
I just want to look at the amended budget to the 26th budget.
You're fine.
Does anybody have any specific questions?
So the ESSER salaries that are in the 24-25, where are they now?
We absorbed anything, we either eliminated positions or we absorbed them into general fund last year. So those are done.
So they're on the last year expenses still under ESSER, but you're saying after a certain point you were paying them out of GOF?
Correct.
Last year, weren't they in GOF the year before? They ended,
But the expenses still categorized in
Oh,
ESSER,
ESSER.
list for about 6 million. And where in there are the new positions we did in capital with the facilities and the leaders, the on-site management and the leaders for that area?
If they were positions that were added this year, they're already embedded in that salaries and benefits budget, but we're not adding any new positions.
So were
It's
they
either
allocated?
filling a
Is that a
vacancy.
new allocation for this year, the person who's starting over the summer? And
No,
the-
ma'am, that was a vacancy for our
That was an
director of
allocation from
maintenance.
last-
Mhm.
And is there any increase to the number of schools in the UVA cohort?
I don't believe so.
no increase. Yeah.
That's all I have for the second budget workshop, if no one else has any other questions.
May I ask one more question? When are we going to see the full budget? The one that has all of the revenue streams and all of the expenses?
This is technically what we present, and then once this is, right now, our budgets are a series of spreadsheets, and then once this budget is approved, we upload all of that to the, our ERP system, and then that's when I can print those reports like I provided you for last year's budget, and we have to post that publicly. I think it's by
Can you tell us
August.
the revenue streams that are coming in on those from the federal programs? The EIA, the special revenue, all of those other buckets that make this thing go to 700 million. Do you have the revenue streams for those yet?
I'll have to ask Miss Tammy where, we don't usually get those till about September, correct? Yes. And typically, when we build our budget, our budget workshop focuses around our school operating budget, which is our general fund.
Don't we pay salaries out of those other buckets? Don't we pay contract salaries out of some of those other buckets? We have teachers in those buckets and administrators.
Or you mean like Title I funds? Yes, we do have people that we pay out of that area too.
So that's.
So we have a projected Title I allocation already, but that's not included. But Dr. Ling, would you like to come share what that, do you have that number?
Yes, sir. As of Friday at the State Department, they told us that we were about 2 weeks out
that the only federal monies we get?
We had Title II.
Yeah,
Go
there's a lot more.
Also manages the Title III, the Title III immigrant, the Title IV. Those are all ESEA.
Their grants? So do we have an EIA special revenue budget? Or is it GOF, food, and capital only?
Right. Go back, you said put 500,000.
Which one?
Go back one. Nope. Yes, federal.
Right,
there.
right.
That federal, that's just child nutrition, right?
No, that's a whole separate budget. We don't
Right,
we don't typically bring that when we do our budget workshops. We focus solely on the general fund budget. And then the quarterly financial updates does include an update for all the other revenue streams.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No, ma'am. All right, thank you very much. Hearing now no other questions, I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Coates, a second by Ms. Davenport to adjourn. So it is currently 5:22. We can convene the next meeting at 5:30. So we'll step down for about 8 minutes and we'll step back up at 5:30 and start the next meeting. I'll now, all in favor of adjourning, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The budget workshop is adjourned. Yeah, we're waiting on his wife to be here. No, his wife isn't here. His wife isn't here. His wife is running late. That's why we're. No, call her. Riley Valentine's playing in Lower State in an hour. I got no mic. There we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Berkeley County Board of Education meeting this Monday, May 19th, 2025. I call this meeting to order. I declare a quorum is present and the media has been notified. I'll now ask Ms. Katie Tanner for the swearing in of the new board member.
Good evening, Chair Wofford, Superintendent Dixon, board members, and everyone who's gathered here tonight. At this time, we will have the oath administered to our newly elected District 8 board member, Mr. Gerald J.B. Borden. At this time, would Pastor Josh Remind please come forward? And Mr. Borden, please move to the front of the dais along with any of your guests.
Is there a Bible?
Stand right here. Stand right. Right up center.
Yep.
Front and
there
center,
you go.
bud.
Front and center. There you go.
Do I stay here though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, my friend JB, it's an honor to be a part of this great day for you and the district. So if you would, please raise your right hand, place your hand on the Bible, and repeat after me. I, Gerald Borden, Jr.
I, Gerald Borden, Jr.
Affirm that I am qualified,
affirm that I'm qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of this office,
to which I've been elected,
to which I've been elected,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
I will, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of this state
the Constitution of this state,
and of the United States of America.
the Constitution of the United States of America,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
So, Mr. Borden, we are going to put you immediately to work.
Say, you going in the wrong direction? Dude, you got somewhere to be.
So happy for you. For the record, Ms. Littleton is on the phone. All right, I will now move on to Agenda Item 1C, approval of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Davenport, a second by Ms. Bradley to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 6-0. 7-0. There we go. We'll now entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting on May 5th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Coates, a second by Mr. Baker to approve the minutes for May 5th, 2025. Is there any discussion or edits to the minutes? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We'll now entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the budget workshop on May 8th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Davenport, a second by Ms. Bradley to approve the budget workshop minutes for May 8th, 2025. Any comments or additions, subtractions to those minutes? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. I'll now entertain a motion to enter into executive session.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Davenport, a second by Ms. Littleton to enter into executive session. The stated purpose of executive session is the employment contracts and/or appointments of administrators as needed, discussion and consideration of proposed amendment to employee agreement between Berkeley County School District and Dr. Anthony Dixon pursuant to South Carolina Code 3470A1-2, and 3 student expulsion appeals. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. We are in executive session. I'll now entertain a motion to return from executive session.
So move.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Bradley, a second by Mr. Baker to return from executive session. I'd like to state for the record, no action was taken in executive session. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0. Please now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would now like to invite Dr. Kylon Middleton for difference makers and special recognitions for our District Teacher of the Year, Teacher Forum, and Teacher Forum art presentation.
Thank you so very much, Chairwoman Wofford, and to Dr. Dixon, and to the members of the board. It gives us great pleasure tonight to bring before us our 2025 District Teacher of the Year, who will receive the Judy Rainey Passion Project Scholarship recognition. At this time, we ask our Teacher of the Year, Ms. Alex Wharton, if she would come forward. Give her a hand. So making this presentation, we're going to ask our reigning Teacher of the Year at the time, Ms. Rebecca Krosky, if she will come to make the presentations.
Good evening, Dr. Dixon, Chairwoman Wofford, Dr. Whitley, board members, and our cabinet. Thank you, as always, for allowing us to come and share the work that we're doing in Teacher Forum. We are really excited to continue honoring Ms. Wharton with her amazing contributions to our district. As an organization, Teacher Forum believes in building strong relationships with our schools, our district, and our community. And by centering our focus on student-driven outcomes and servant leadership, we are able to continue our mission of strengthening and growing our district and continuing to create the future that we dare to imagine. Each year, Teacher Forum continues this community-centered mission by generating revenue through partnerships with our community stakeholders. In addition to the t-shirt sales from our district conference, we also sell Double Good popcorn and curate a collection of baskets for our annual silent auction. And this year we were able to open that up to the public for the first time, which is a tradition that we hope to continue. That was really exciting to see. And then the proceeds from those fundraisers throughout the year are then used to help facilitate the scholarships that we're going to discuss tonight. So again, first, we are excited to celebrate and highlight the hard work of our newest District Teacher of the Year, Miss Alex Wharton, by presenting her with the Judy Rainey Passion Project Scholarship. This project continues our mission to support our students and teachers in Berkeley County and also honors the 2020 District Teacher of the Year, Miss Judy Rainey, and her dedication to helping our district continue to grow. This scholarship in the amount of $1,000 will be used to bring a student-centered passion project to Miss Wharton's campus. I was honored to be the recipient of this scholarship last year, and Cane Bay Middle is using the scholarship funds to begin the process of outdoor learning spaces. We are going to take underused spaces on our campus in our courtyard and add sunshades and other seating and interactive environmental opportunities for students to transform their learning and move it to any space within our campus, not just within the walls of the classroom. I'm excited to watch my project grow, and we're very excited to see what Alex does with hers as the 2025 Judy Rainey Passion Project Scholarship winner, and we cannot wait to see what she brings to her campus. Congratulations, Ms. Wharton.
I don't know, I feel like I'm crashing their party.
Yes.
Are we getting out? Okay. Oh, come on.
Next, we are very excited to honor 2 of our high school seniors who will be the recipients of our student scholarships. In order to qualify for these scholarships, students filled out an application and wrote an essay that our leadership team reviewed and scored with a very rigorous rubric. We were so impressed with the talent and skill and passion of these students in both the CTE and teacher cadet programs. Their resumes are more impressive than mine, I'll just tell you that. One CTE student will be awarded $2,500 and a teacher cadet will be awarded $2,500. And both of these students are leaders in not only their programs at their home campuses, but also their schools and communities. When I was reading through the list of things that they have accomplished by the age of 18, it really is awe-inspiring. Our first scholarship recipient is Lindsay Newman. Lindsay is a senior at Hanahan High School and is the recipient of our CTE scholarship. Her impressive resume is so extensive that it left us wondering how on earth she finds time to sleep, let alone attend to her many responsibilities as a student, cheerleader, community member, president of the HOSA chapter at Hanahan High School, and employee of MUSC. At this year's HOSA State Conference, she placed 3rd in the nursing assisting category, an achievement that allows her to go on to compete at the international level. In her essay, she shared that these programs have prepared her for the most important step in her journey as a future healthcare professional, the Charleston Regional Youth Apprenticeship Program. This rigorous, highly competitive program has not only given Lindsay invaluable real-world opportunities to learn in her field, but will also allow her to graduate with 1,000 hours of work in the field and certification as a nursing assistant and patient care technician. We are super excited to hear more about her journey as she begins the next step of her education at Clemson University. Congratulations. Our second scholarship recipient is Emily Moon from Berkeley High School. She is the winner of that scholarship, and she boasts a resume that is equally robust and impressive. Serving as the 2025 class salutatorian, Emily is an engaged member of her campus community. Currently, she serves as the Berkeley County SC First Alternate for the Senate Youth Program, Student Body Vice President, Beta Club Vice President of Service, and National Honor Society's historian. She is also a 2-sport varsity athlete and works at the Berkeley County Country Club, and also does a great deal of volunteer and community work. Throughout her time in the teacher cadet program, she will have logged over 200 hours of field experience in the classroom, which she credits as having made a significant impact on her decision to become a high school history teacher. In her essay, Emily shared that the most important thing that educators share with their students is impact. She stated that whether through teaching, interactions, or simple gestures, our educators help shape America's future generations and society. In the fall, Emily will attend the University of South Carolina Honors College as a history major with an educational emphasis, and we cannot wait to follow her on her journey. Congratulations, Emily. Thank you all. Oh, I'm sorry, Casey's gonna. Sorry, I got so excited that I didn't have to talk anymore. Ms. Giddens, our 2024 Teacher Forum Chair, is going to come discuss the artwork that we are presenting to the board this evening. Ms. Giddens. Thank you. Y'all thought y'all were ready.
Good evening, Superintendent Dixon, Board Chair Woffer, board members, cabinet members, and members of the public. It is my absolute pleasure to present this special piece of artwork that reflects the heart of Teacher Forum's theme last year, Connect and Build. This Lego mosaic is more than just a creative display. It's a symbol of what happens when we come together with purpose and vision. The theme Connect and Build reminds us that when we step outside our four walls of our classroom and forge meaningful connections with one another, we open the door to collaboration, innovation, and growth. Each tile of the mosaic is about a 5 by 5 inch square, and those are worked on by Teachers of the Year from our entire district at every Teacher Forum event throughout the last year. And so this reminds us that even though each piece may seem small and abstract when separate, when we combine it, it creates something meaningful. A heartfelt thank you to Rebecca for embracing the spirit of my theme from last year and bringing it to life in this incredible visual representation. On a personal note, I'd like to thank you all for the support that I've received from each and every one of you guys over the last 2 years. It has been my absolute honor to serve Berkeley County in this capacity, and I look forward to being a part of Berkeley County's future as we build the future we dare to imagine. Thank you so much.
All right, good evening. Tonight I have the pleasure of helping us recognize our senior leader cadets of Cane Bay High's Air Force JROTC program. They are here to represent the unit for receiving the Sword of Excellence this year by the South Carolina Air Force Association. Every year, the association presents this award to the most, go ahead. Every year, the association presents this award to the most outstanding Air Force JROTC unit in the state, recognizing their achievements throughout the school year. Cane Bay High's program consists of 169 students, led by Major U.S. Air Force retired Christopher D. Perham, senior aerospace science instructor at the school. So congratulations to our Cane Bay Air Force JROTC on such an amazing honor as the Sword of Excellence. I also want to take this opportunity to additionally recognize Cadet Ryder Livingston, who is here tonight. Ryder won the Air Force JROTC Region 3 Sub-Region 3 Cadet of the Year. This makes him the top cadet out of about 30 schools. Congratulations to Ryder and Cane Bay's Air Force JROTC program for all of these outstanding accomplishments. And we also had the most students represented at the Military Honor Corps ceremony in Columbia just last week, which says a lot about our students and families' commitments to service to our country.
Yep, that's it. That was my seat for a long time. Take it back. Thank you so much for the special recognitions. We'll now move on. There are no citizen comments, so we're on to agenda item 6A, the superintendent's report. Kathy, I'm echoing if you can mute.
Thank you, Chairwoman Wofford and our board members. And again, welcome to the board, to our newly elected board member of District 8, Mr. Gerald Borden. We look forward to working alongside you to make a positive difference for our students. I know that your family is here, and thanking them for coming and being a part of this meeting. And if you would like afterwards, if they're staying, we'll make sure we get some good photos of you and your family, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's graduation season and a special time to celebrate and recognize the dedication, perseverance, and achievements of our students, as well as the unwavering support of their families, educators, and communities. We're excited to honor the class of 2025 beginning May 28th with ceremonies at the Performing Arts Center and North Charleston Coliseum. So congratulations to our graduates. You make us incredibly proud. As we celebrate our graduates, I'd like to recognize those who are choosing to give back by pursuing careers in education. Several BCSD students have been named teaching fellows at their respective colleges. Congratulations to these future educators from Berkeley, Cane Bay, Philip Simmons, and Stratford High Schools. Your commitment to this noble profession is inspiring, and I want to share those because we want to make sure. I was trying to get Emily before she walked out to hand her a contract for 4 years from now to teach history at Berkeley High. But we would like to recognize and congratulate Alyssa Archer. She's going to Anderson University. Emily Moon, who's going to the University of South Carolina. Carson Steele, who's going to Charleston Southern University. And Jadil John Wharton, who's going to Winthrop University. Cane Bay High School, Ashley Kelly, the College of Charleston, Madison, Maine, Winthrop University, Tariq Henderson, Charleston Southern University, Jacob Hurd, Charleston Southern University, and Bradley Cubits is an alternate for Winthrop University. Philip Simmons High School, Emma Hopfizer, a College of Charleston. Amelia Leiden is received it also for the College of Charleston, but she's actually going to pursue a music scholarship at Clemson University. Stratford High School, Jasmine Cooper going to Charleston Southern University, and Avery Hazley at the University of South Carolina. And we're going to do a special honor for all of those teacher fellows really soon here at the board meeting. A special shout out to Cross High School's Carmelo Jones, who was awarded the prestigious Gates Scholarship. Out of over 48,000 applicants nationwide, Carmelo is one of only 750 selected. This scholarship covers the full cost of attendance at any U.S. college and university. Let's congratulate all those students for those four. So all those scholarships are full rides from the teaching fellows to our Cross High School, Carmelo Jones, and it certainly makes us proud, but I bet it makes their parents and families even more proud that they're receiving that honor. We're also excited to relaunch the early college program at Timberland High School starting in 9th and 10th grade. Students can earn college credit and potentially graduate with an associate degree at no cost. Pathways for this partnership with Trident Tech include healthcare, education, cybersecurity, electrical line worker, and more. So I highly encourage, if you're a student, an 8th grader at either Macedonia Middle or St. Stephen Middle, students to take advantage of this unique program. There's an application out, and it's offered currently only at Timberland High School. Congratulations to the Philip Simmons girls track team on winning the state championship and the boys for earning runner-up honors. And Timberland also had a strong showing, placing top 5 out of 30 teams. Finally, our Child Nutrition Summer Meal Program kicks off June 2nd and runs through July 24th, offering hot meals Monday through Thursday for children across the district. Breakfast will be served from 7:30 to 8:30 a.m., and lunch will be served from 10:30 a.m. to noon. To find out a list of locations that those meals are served, you can go online and check that out. And a quick construction update. Bee Tree Elementary officially topped off on May 8th. This is an important construction milestone celebrating the placement of one of the final beams or structural elements on a building. And we are still on schedule for an August 2026 opening of this new K-5 school. And so we're excited about that and excited about Midtown Middle and Hanahan Middle that we'll send and have their top-off ceremonies soon as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dixon. We can start with the student expulsion appeals, and then we'll move to the other items from executive session. So, motion for student number 1.
Madam Chair, in reference to student number 1, I move that we deny the appeal of that particular student.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Bradley, a second by Ms. Coates to deny the appeal of student number 1. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We'll now entertain a motion for student number 2.
Madam Chair, I move to overturn the expulsion and place the student in virtual.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Davenport, a second by Ms. Bradley to grant the appeal and assign the student to an alternative virtual setting. Is there any further discussion? Are you good? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0. Last is student number 3.
Madam Chair, in reference to student number 3, I move that we deny the appeal.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Bradley, a second by Ms. Coates to deny the appeal of student number 2. Is there any further discussion?
Number 3.
I'm sorry, number 3. Deny the appeal of student number 3. We'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0. We'll now move on to the other items from executive session. I'll start with Mr. Baker.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the personnel recommendations of the administration as discussed in executive session for the current school.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Baker, a second by Ms. Davenport, to accept the personnel recommendation of the administration as discussed in executive session. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the recommendation of the administration to name Dr. Monique Capers as the assistant principal at Berkeley Elementary School with a contract to begin July 14, 2025, as she has just received her doctorate from none other than South Carolina State University Bulldogs. Go ahead.
Second.
Yeah, Bulldogs. Yeah.
So there was a motion by Ms. Bradley. Walford gave the second. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Congratulations, Dr. Capers.
All right.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the recommendation of the administration to name Brianna Krebs as the assistant principal at Cane Bay Elementary School with a contract to begin July 14th, 2025.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Davenport, a second by Ms. Bradley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0. Congratulations, Ms. Brianna Krebs.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the recommendation of the administration to name Jessica Coates as the assistant principal at Whitesville Elementary School with a contract to begin July 14th, 2025.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Baker, a second by Ms. Bradley. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Congratulations, Ms. Jessica Coates. We'll now move on to agenda item 8A. There's no need for temporary committee assignments. There's a quorum present for capital planning. We'll now recess for Mr. Baker and the capital planning committee.
Sally, are we going to add JB to capital?
That's where the,
Committee?
is that
Okay.
where the spot is?
Yeah, it is. That's where Dr. Wigfall was. I was just curious if he's.
Do
gonna
I
be-
need to, yeah, I don't. So we'll go back to 8A, and we'll call it a temporary committee assignment, but I'll get a permanent committee assignment on the next agenda. So a temporary committee assignment for tonight. Mr. Borden will be on capital, and we'll make that official on the next agenda under board chair report.
Okay.
All right, I'm calling the Committee on Capital Planning to order. I declare there's a quorum of committee members present, and note that the media has been given proper notice pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of this motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. The motion's approved, 3-0. The only agenda item is IFB 733, 24-25 Sangaree Elementary School roof replacement. Dr. Karen Whitley, you're recognized.
Good evening, Chair Baker, Chair Wofford, Superintendent Dixon, and board members. I would like to invite Ms. Robin McNeil up to present the item.
Thank you, Dr. Whitley. Greetings, committee members, board members, and superintendent. This evening, we bring for review and approval IFB 731-2425, Sangaree Elementary School roof replacement. This solicitation and award followed the procurement process. A total of 8 bids were received. The award was made to the lowest responsible and responsive bidder, Radco Construction Services, for a total of $1,449,087.
Sounds good. Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the award of invitation for bid 733-24-25, Sangaree Elementary School roof replacement to Radco Construction Services, doing business as Radco Roofing, for the total contract value of $1,449,087, effective May 26, 2025, contingent upon the expiration of the protest period.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I have one question. Was this one of the schools where the air condition was on top of the roof and we had to remove the air conditions? Was Sangaree one of those?
No,
No, ma'am.
no, ma'am.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody got anything else?
Yes, sir.
All right, all in favor of this motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion's approved by a vote of 3-0. Thank you, Dr. Whitley, Ms. Robin, appreciate it. This time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this committee meeting and return to a regular session.
So moved.
Second, so we have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor of this motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The motion's approved by a vote 3-0.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. We'll now go on to reports from committees. Ms. Littleton, are you able to do the report from your committee, or do you want to ask someone else to do that, or do you need me to do that?
I think I have it.
Okay.
So, Madam Chair of the Committee on Academic Innovation on May 5th, 2025. On recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the Head Start budget expenditure report for March 2025 and Head Start credit report for March 2025.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Did we lose Ms. Littleton?
I was say Kathy.
I'm sorry. Also on recommendation of committee, I move to approve the second reading of the school-selected textbooks, which is supported by South Carolina Department of Education.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Also on recommendation of committee, I move to approve the proposed 2025-2026 local board approved courses as provided.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Madam Chair, that ends my report.
Next is the Committee on Finances and Human Resources. Chairman Michael Ramsey is absent tonight, so in his stead, Ms. Davenport will be reading the report from the committee.
Madam Chairwoman, the Committee on Finance and Human Resources met on May 5th, 2025, and on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve out-of-state travel as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the amended fiscal year 24-25 general fund budget as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion?
To be clear, this is reallocating the $5 million.
Yes, ma'am.
Not changing the budget itself, just reallocating funds within it.
Reallocating the funds within the budget. Yes, ma'am. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the first reading of the fiscal year 25-26 supply and travel allocation formulas as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve first reading of policy GBC, staff compensation, payroll practices, and deductions as presented by administration.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve first reading of policy GCCA, vacation, leave, and holidays as presented by administration.
Recommendation is from the committee. No second is required. Further discussion?
How many readings does this have to have?
So you're gonna hear it in 4 board meetings. You're gonna hear it in 2 committee readings, and you're gonna hear it in 2 full board meetings.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve first reading of policy GCCAA, sick leave, as presented by administration.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve first reading of policy GCCAE, other leave, as presented by administration.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve an additional 33 classroom paraprofessionals and 5 classified itinerant secretaries.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Madam Chairwoman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Davenport, for filling in. Next is the Committee on Capital Planning. Chairman Joe Baker, you're recognized.
Madam Chairwoman, the Committee on Capital Planning met on May 5th, 2025, and on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the award IFB 729-24-25 Hanahan High School Auditorium HVAC upgrade to Hoyt's Heating and AC Incorporated for the project total of $948,890.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Also on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the award of IFB 730-24-25 commercial doors and hardware to Southern Lock and Supply Company Incorporated with a potential total of $4,316,830.40.
We have a recommendation from the committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Also, on recommendation of the committee from earlier this evening, I move to approve the award of IFB 733-24-25 Sangaree Elementary School roof replacement to Radco Construction Services, doing business as Radco Roofing, for the total contract value of $1,449,087, effective May 26, 2025, contingent upon the expiration of the protest period.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? I do want to thank procurement and our capital planning folks for moving quickly so that we can get on the schedule for Sangaree Elementary School roof. Thank you for being forward-thinking and moving that forward to us. I appreciate it. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0.
Madam Chairwoman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. There's a motion by Davenport, a second by Wofford. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, 7-0. We are adjourned. Mr. Borden's family, please come up and let's get some pictures.